Welcome to What's Niggling Me. I see I don't have any spot to put my phone up, I know who I'm voting for in Canada's election, and I'm pretty surprised. I watched Maxime Bernier. I watched him on a podcast, and then I did some research. And this guy, speaking about what I've been speaking about. It's frightening and not popular to talk about some of those things to the most of the Canadian population doesn't want to talk about. They always want to try and be positive. Well, our country is in a fucking negative state. I don't trust Pierre Poilievre. I don't trust Mark Carney. I don't trust the fucking Liberal Party. The Liberal Party's policies are fucking a joke. And I hate our Liberal Party. Jagmeet Singh. Fuck that guy. That guy's a fucking loser. And the NDPs need to replace that guy. Because that guy's a fucking loser. But Maxime Bernier, it was nice. I don't have producers and I don't have shit I can just pop on the screen for you live. But you can look up that Canada has one of the worst birth rates in the entire world. It's facts. I liked this podcast because it brought up these facts that I speak about. Fucking, our economy has barely grown in 10 years. Barely. Not even 1% in fucking 10 years. Under our Liberal leadership for the past 10 fucking years. We have allowed mass immigration, as I have just constantly fucking spoken about on here. We allowed mass immigration into this country with no assimilation. That is how we're saving our population decline somehow. That's our remedy. Our remedy for our declining population is to import a bunch of immigrants from third world countries. And to have a ton of. This guy said that when they do the immigration, they don't even have a video. They don't even have an in-person talk with the person coming over here. What the fuck is that? This guy knows his policies. This guy has a plan. When asked a question, this guy has a fucking answer. He's not tiptoeing around. He's not Chrystia Freeland, that fucking dumb bitch. Maxime Bernier, a fucking French guy. I guess Pierre's a French guy too, but and what's good is that, and this guy's never getting in. As much as I'd like this guy to get in after I've listened and read about his policies, I would love for this guy to get in. He's not going to get in. The People's Party. That's what this guy is. The People's Party. And I'm all in on the People's Party. He talked about, he's from Quebec. And he talked about the interprovincial trade barriers. We got these trade barriers. Between provinces, we don't have an economic union here. It's a fucking joke. We tax other provinces to get products across the country. Like, it's fucking dumb. How do you want to prosper as a fucking country when you aren't aligned across the country. It doesn't make any sense. And Quebec's one of the worst for it. As the research I've done since COVID, and I saw how nasty they were during COVID. And this guy was also good on COVID. Because, you know, our government mandated that you get a minimally tested shot or you're not allowed to work. You're not allowed to fly. That's what our government did. They said, if you don't get this experimental shot, if you don't become part of this experiment, you're not allowed to work. So then brave people that they called Nazis, even though they were multicultural, like our government wants us to be, they were Nazis. That's what they were called by our government. And then their bank accounts were frozen. That's our government. That's our rulers. The rulers of our country. We don't have leaders, we have rulers. The average price of a house in Canada is almost $800,000. You can go buy a house in California for that type of fucking money. Why the fuck are houses almost $1 million in Canada? Because we know in the next few years, the average house is going to be $1 million fucking dollars. That's insane. When our dollar is becoming more worthless and worthless. Right now, from when I started this video, our dollar is more worthless. I'm pretty sure my mom didn't know that the dollar is backed by nothing. Because when I mentioned that to her, she said, "What do you mean it's backed by nothing?" And I explained to her, it's not backed by gold, and it hasn't been backed by gold for almost 60 years. And she didn't have a response. And I was like, oh, I wonder if she didn't know that, because they don't teach you that in school. They don't want to frighten you, tell you, hey, we're just playing with pretend money, and we just print it. They've printed 80% of all the dollars in history in the last 5 years. That's why there's inflation. It's very simple, but they're not going to tell you that. Why does everything cost more? Because they print money. Every time they print money, your dollar becomes more worthless. And that's why we're in the state that we're in. It's about to get a lot worse. So let me look up Maxime. Oh, so the one thing he didn't talk about in this podcast, and I thought about it during, because I know, gotta get my dad pen done charging. I know this is the big hot button issue always, is what's Maxime Bernier's stance on abortion? He said the Protection of Preborn Children Act would ban abortions after 24 weeks unless a mother's life or health are at risk, or in cases of rape or abuse, or if the baby has a lethal abnormality or brain function. Yo! Doesn't that seem decent? I don't know. I sent it to my mom. We'll see what her response is. No response back yet. I proposed 16 weeks. 4 months? 4 months to decide. Seems like a good amount of time. I've been in this situation. And it's not the easiest to get it done. Especially like once by the time you notice, a couple months, a few months. I imagine if you're really fat, maybe it's tougher. I don't know. This guy's saying 6 fucking months. And those other exceptions. I don't know. That's a surprising stance for somebody that's conservative. But I'm a fan of this guy. I think that is one that can win liberals over. I was impressed with this guy. He opposes mass immigration. That's one of my biggest ones. We've had way too much immigration. I'm all for it. The way we did it is not the way to do it. And I mentioned in the last episode that Century Initiative is trying to mass immigrate its way into 100 million people into this country. That is the fucking plan. Century Initiative. They want to get the population of Canada to 100 million, and the plan is to do mass immigration. And with this mass immigration, Afghanistan is every year is in the top 10 or top 5 of our immigrants into Canada. Afghanistan. I wonder why. Because we supported the United States in blowing the fuck up their country, even though Osama bin Laden was in fucking Pakistan. Go look at the fucking immigrants that are coming here. It's because the United States is blowing their fucking countries up. And they are fucking refugees. And then we're allowing just unbelievable amounts of Indian people to come here. And my great-grandparents are Indians. But we are just allowing them to come here at will. They come over here, they say they're going to school. And then, so they're on a fucking school visa. And then they just get an extension on their visa because our government loves when fucking immigrants are here, right? Our liberal government. We want to just keep it. Population growth is economic growth. For some reason, that's the simple principle that we live by. So that's what our government does. And how are we growing our population? Not by improving the cost of living and improving the quality of life in our country so that Canadians can have more children. No, we're just get an immigrant from a third world country. Why have a new Canadian baby being born? We can just get an immigrant from a third world country and make him a citizen. That is what our country is doing. We are going to legalize all these immigrants coming over here. And we're going to incentivize. I see it. If you come over here and you get a diploma, you're a citizen of Canada. Mark my words. Because Mark Carney's going to be our fucking prime minister, unfortunately. And we are going to look like the United Kingdom. We are going to look like France. We're going to have segregation here in Canada. There's going to be areas where you can't go in because it'll be only Indian people allowed. Watch. What's the date today? March 21st, 2025. What year will it be where we have segregation? Indians won't allow, it'll be just an Indian area. You know what it'll be? It'll be just like the Jews in New York. That's what it'll be like here. Brampton's gonna have only indie areas. Wild. Alright, I'm gonna do a full episode on it. The JFK files. There's so much. Oh, what did my mom say to me the other day? My mom said something fucking hilarious. Okay, JFK files on the side. I had mentioned, so my mom doesn't like Donald Trump and Elon Musk for some reason. I get the Trump thing, but the Elon Musk one, I don't know. Whatever. And I try to tell her, and I've told her before, Peter Thiel is the person that people should be concerned about. Peter Thiel. Oh, Elon Musk's running the White House or whatever. No. Peter Thiel runs Elon Musk. There'd be no Elon Musk without Peter Thiel. Both of them came out of South Africa. Both of their dads owned mines. But you know what? Elon's dad wasn't from Germany and wasn't a fucking Gestapo fucking Nazi. And he didn't fucking have a uranium mine. He had an emerald mine. So, I'm pretty sure emeralds don't kill you like uranium does. So what fucking Klaus Thiel was doing in South Africa wasn't too fucking ethical. Peter Thiel is the one who funds your startup. Look at all the companies. Peter Thiel was the first investor, or one of the initial investors. Peter Thiel is Brain from Pinky and the Brain. Peter Thiel wants to have global surveillance. Peter Thiel has positioned multiple people in the White House administration. But they're like, Trump, Elon. No. Peter Thiel is the kingmaker. Peter Thiel put Vance where he is. Peter Thiel took Vance and funded him to the White House. And they complain about Trump and Elon. Trump's fucking helping bomb the fucking Middle East over there because of Miriam Adelson. Why don't people say, oh, Miriam Adelson? It's Trump and Elon for some reason. You have to follow the money. It's mind-boggling, the complaining about Trump and Elon, when Peter Thiel is the real evil motherfucker. Peter Thiel, that sweaty motherfucker. He's always wet. Look how wet Peter Thiel is all the time. He is the person that people should be complaining about. I really don't like him because he likes war. Because he likes money. And war pays. So he's in huge defense department. He's a huge Defense Department guy. Nobody's complaining about Peter Thiel's government contracts. It's a joke. Everyone's living a joke. And my mom says, And I know she obviously only just like Googled Peter Thiel. Who knows what it gives her. I Googled Peter Thiel, and he seems to be a very contradictory character. He is gay but didn't support same-sex marriage. He certainly has put lots of money behind Republican candidates. Yeah, because I think, I don't know, there's like 5 to 7 senators. There's multiple senators because of Peter Thiel, funded. Peter Thiel is funding everyone. Peter Thiel. That's the guy to watch out for. No. Okay, yeah, JFK files. I've been looking at tons of documents over the past couple days, and it's gonna take a bunch of time. I'm one person. I'm one person, and what do I know? Like, what do I know about JFK's death? Like, there's so much. There's no conclusion. My conclusion, in my opinion, is that Lee Harvey Oswald or Malcolm Wallace killed JFK. Now, I don't know who was successful in doing it. Who did that second shot and blew his fucking head up? Because that shot blew his head up, that second one. But the first one got him, but it didn't kill him. The second one blew his head up. He was dead for sure. And so one of them, Malcolm Wallace or Lee Harvey Oswald. Lee Harvey Oswald, I believe, was just a teammate of Malcolm Wallace's. I think Malcolm Wallace was a hitter for Lyndon Baines Johnson. And I know that Israel's reported that Lyndon Baines Johnson was the best. Fuck, I forget what it said. Israel loved Lyndon Baines Johnson. And you can Candace did a thing yesterday, I think it was. I think it was yesterday that Candace did a episode, and she does the Israel portion. Why Israel needed to get rid of JFK, because he was a problem for their nuclear program and APAC. But the CIA is a bunch of liars. I've seen Andrew Schultz say dumb things the other day about he wanted to try and just make it simple and not be and like and then act like there's not blackmail. So weird. What am I thinking? Maxime Bernier for Canada's Prime Minister, the People's Party. Hey, let me go back to him real quick here. Yeah, he opposes. Says in addition to taking on economic libertarian positions, he opposes mass immigration to Canada. Proposes repealing the Multiculturalism Act. I can click on it. Supports more restrictions on abortion. That's because we just have a free-for-all. Rejects scientific consensus on climate change. We shouldn't be doing. We are the only country in the entire world. In Canada, we're the only country in the world we have a carbon tax. Every liter of gas, there is, I think it's 23% tax on it. 23% tax on every liter, and it's going up until 2029. Like, we have a plan in place. But this is hilarious how it's worded. Rejects the scientific consensus on climate change. Remember the scientific consensus on COVID that they were giving us? All lies. All of them were lies. Masks don't work to stop COVID. Cloth mask, that's a joke. A cloth mask is a joke to stop COVID. It's literally scientifically proven it can't stop it. What a joke. An N95, no, it's not what they're for. Social distancing. There's no studies to prove that social distancing works at all from any feet. 6 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, there's zero proof, no studies, just made up bullshit. But it was scientific consensus. Make sure you social distance and wear a mask. That didn't do anything. There's no proof, zero. There's no studies to prove it. During the COVID-19 pandemic in Canada, he opposed mandatory vaccinations, public health measures, and attended many anti-lockdown protests. Sounds like my type of guy. He was arrested for violating public health orders at a gathering in Manitoba. Sounds like my type of guy, because I traveled all around Ontario. I didn't give a fuck about what color, green, orange, red we were in. Didn't give a fuck. Did not give a fuck. If it was red in my city, we went to a town that was orange or green, because I didn't give a fuck about COVID. It was a lie. If I got sick, I didn't care, because I'm healthy. But this guy's pretty interesting, if you ask me. Didn't know about him, but it's because we have corporate news. We have corporate news, so it's all liberals. It's paid by the liberals. It's literally paid. The news is paid by our government. You have state-sponsored media. That's what we have in Canada. Socialist government. Mandatory mandates for an experimental shot. That's the world we live in. People can play pretend and act like it's okay. Just following under governmental rule. Wild to me. Just saving as much money and I'm getting out of this country. I see no other way. Alberta is the only place I can imagine living right now. That's the most tempting spot to go. But leaving this country, how are you supposed to have a family in this country? It's a fucking joke. This country's a joke. Canada has become a joke. Remember, it was so cool to be Canadian. Growing up, it was. You wore it as a badge of honor. And now we're a laughingstock around the world. It's a joke here. The average house costs $800,000. How the fuck is that possible? How the fuck is that possible? Pretty insane. One of the lowest birth rates in the world. It's insane. What the fuck is going on here? Just want to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible and leave this place. I thought it was pretty wild that Joseph Kennedy died very soon after his third son died. Now he lobotomized his daughter, and I don't agree with that at all. But I'm pretty sure he had 3 sons die before he died. Which sucks. It's pretty funny. I just glimpsed at his resting place and I thought it said Hollywood, and I'm like, what? It's Holyhood Cemetery. If he had a heart, I don't know, because lobotomizing your daughter is rough. But the guy had 3 sons die before he died. What's I looking at? I was trying to look into how much coal does Canada sell to China? Because we're all about climate change here. So we got this carbon tax. But I heard we're selling coal to China, which is not good for the climate. Oh, the best thing about Maxime Bernier. He doesn't want anything to... We should stay out of Israel and Palestine. We shouldn't fund it at all. That's big. Every politician fucking has an allegiance for these fucking people. The country fucking has been nothing but a problem. As long as I look back, they've always been a problem. They were killing British people They spy. They've killed so many Palestinians. They've started a bunch of shit, like attacking the USS Liberty. They're instigators. Bibi Netanyahu needs to go. Now, who knows who gets in there after? That's just like Putin. It's just like every other regime. Who gets in there after could be even worse. I read a thing that, and this person I think seems well sourced, that King Charles of England there, that fucking guy, is 10% inbred. I think because his grandparents are first cousins, but then there's a lot of others. There's a lot of other things. But yeah, 10% inbred. And as a Canadian, I don't give a fuck about the Royals. Don't give a fuck about the British fucking Royals. Entitled fucking people. Entitled inbred people. Trying to do the old bloodline thing. Seems kind of like Macron is in some weird thing. I seen Brigitte Macron at the fucking Wailing Wall, I think is what it was, doing a photo op. Fucking weird. Fucking weird. Humiliation ritual shit. Just embarrassing. I think why Malcolm Wallace killed Lyndon B. Johnson, or killed JFK, is because I think the thing that confirms it the most is I'm pretty sure Lyndon B. Johnson's mistress that he had a kid with confirmed it. Now, why and who funded and hired? I don't know. But Rubenstein, he was in on it. CIA was tracking Oswald long before he killed JFK. He wasn't just like a lone shooter out of nowhere, just like they tried to make Thomas Crooks out to be, like, oh, out of nowhere. The Israeli art students, like, Israel knew 9/11 was going to happen. You can read. If you can read, then you know Israel knew 9/11 was going to happen. They knew. And when it happened, the Americans went and destroyed Iraq, which is good for Israel. And now Israel never complains about Iraq, right? All they do is complain about the Palestinians in Iran. And then Saudi Arabia, they don't like Yemen, so the United States blows up Yemen, shoots fucking missiles into Yemen. when I look at the October 7th, and I've watched numerous fucking documentaries from both fucking opinions, a BBC and an Al Jazeera are two totally different opinions. I watched both, and Hamas didn't do all that damage that I saw. Israel definitely did some of that fucking damage. Those cars on the side of the road in that Killing Roads documentary, those cars could not be done from a grenade. Those cars are torched, like to the frame, and people inside are skeletons. You can see skeletons from some of these people in these cars. Hamas had no weapons. I watched their GoPro footage. They had no weapons that could torch people like that. That can only come from the sky. The shit, you can go watch these documentaries, and there are no weapons that you're carrying on yourself that will torch those vehicles and humans. There's none of them. Hamas doesn't have any fucking weapons like that. And they're not allowed to be in the sky. They're caged off with no airports. They don't have no fucking planes or helicopters in Palestine. They don't have fucking none of that. Not allowed. Israel doesn't let them. Israel's the only one with missiles and bombs. They're the only ones up there that can do that. Hamas can't do that from Palestine. They can't. So I see all those cars along the fucking highway. And then they went on a killing spree in Palestine for the past fucking year and a half. Now I know Hamas went in there and killed people. I watched that. I watched them fucking a crazy multiple. I watched them hucking grenades into shelters. I watched them do bad things. Trust me, I watched them do bad things. I watched them murder people. But I also saw wreckage. The guy that was the first responder at the festival. I watched this guy go down that whole road to the festival. And I know that there's cars there that there's no way. And I also heard about the Hannibal Directive. And I know that Peter Thiel's type weapons are mounted on the fence so that Palestinians, if they get near it, it's like a high-tech AI turret, and it just mows Palestinians down when they get near. That's Peter Thiel technology. Nah, Peter Thiel funded technology. Peter Thiel funded technology. He's not creating it. He's just funding it. It's a shit show over there. It's a shit show. And I'm not a fan of it at all. Israel deserves zero fucking funding. They're our greatest ally because they're fucking spies. That's what they are. That's why that's 100%. What else do? They do nothing else except they're really good at spying. And I think countries got real nervous when they went and hunted down Nazis around the world. They're like, fuck, these people are serious. They're hunting them down and bringing them back to Israel. That's fucking serious. I'd be fucking nervous and scared too. They're determined people. That Israel is tiny. Israel is a tiny little country with so much influence, so much control. Exceptional spies, if that's even a word. Doesn't sound like one. Huh. So these JFK files. There's so many to click on. So much waste of time. I really want 9/11 ones, you know? I really want 9/11 ones, but fuck, it seems like if we do get them, we're gonna get these MLK ones and RFK ones probably first. And then we'll get 9/11 ones maybe. We aren't getting Epstein ones. But I want some COVID. Trump has a serious list. Like, if I'm Trump, there's important things to me that I need him to get done. And how many will he get done? I don't know. It's an Epstein one I feel is never happening. So I have to go with COVID as my most hopeful. That Fauci gets prosecuted, because fuck, I hate that fucking guy. Fauci should be prosecuted. I'd like that to happen to Bill Gates, but I think that's doubtful. So I end on this note, and then I'm gonna be back Sunday probably with my brother, because there's just been lots of things going on throughout the week I gotta tell him about. Oh, I got my mom looking up the USS Liberty. She said she's gonna do it tonight. I'm pumped. What was I just gonna end on? Wow, I forgot. I got distracted. Different thoughts. Huh. I'm just gonna look up the USS Liberty. I'm gonna talk to Ryan on Sunday. And maybe I open with it on Sunday, because I don't remember. Alright. Deuces.